the King of Kings.
Yeah, keep playing so I can hear something. Yeah, you got it?
All right, conference, all that good stuff. Final live stream. Here we go. Back into worship.
take this time to look at you. Thank you for your faithfulness. We invite you into this conversation tonight. May our hearts be open to hearing a new perspective tonight, Lord, that we would follow after you and your will. We love you, Jesus, and we lift you up tonight. Amen.
Amen.
to Pastor Taylor's Tonight Show. It's been a minute. Give it up for Noah and Abby again for leading worship. It was incredible. We could hear half of it. It was beautiful. The half we did hear was excellent. Brett Ballard's sweating. He's covering for Gannon Larson. Gannon, we're feeling your absence, kind of. We love you. Brett, you did great. That was clutch. This is our final live stream, and it would not be our final live stream if something crazy like that didn't happen. You missed all the announcements, correct? From Brett and, from Noah and Jeff, correct? Okay. So what we know is this. Next week, no youth at all. It is July 4th weekend. Enjoy it with your friends and family, blowing up things, not people. I trust you to know the difference. And then the week after, we're all back at every single campus in person, y'all. It's happening. We are coming back. Cannot wait. And you might have noticed I have a co-host tonight.
Yeah.
It's my buddy Bruce. Bruce, greet the audience. Alrighty then. So Bruce he's been with me for years. He's a good friend of mine, and he is going to help me tonight as we continue our Learning from Legends series. And we're going to learn from some personal legends. And to help me do that, please welcome up the one and only Trevor Big Cat Larson, everyone. Yes. Hand sanitizer, please.
Bruce is hogging it all.
Yes.
Bruce is hogging all the sanitizer.
He's an angry badger. Trevor, take a seat. Thank you for coming.
That's good. Nothing's
Welcome,
on
man. Yeah.
Thought it might be pranked.
Well, no, I chose not to prank tonight. How are you doing, man?
Great.
Great.
Yeah.
Good.
I got the hammock today, and
You got a hammock today.
I got two hammocks.
You got two hammocks.
The verb.
You got two hammocks. You
Not
bought
the-
two hammocks.
It
He
is a
bought
double
two
hammock.
hammocks today.
It's a double hammock.
What do you do with a double hammock?
Well,
Rest with a friend?
by myself. Just me and
So-
the Lord. The Lord's in the hammock too.
Great save. Great save. So, Trevor, we're talking about heroes tonight.
Yeah.
Learning from legends. We're looking at personal heroes. When you think of heroes, who comes to your mind? Like, when you think of heroes, who's the first hero you think of?
Tom and Jerry.
Shut up.
You said the first thing.
I half expected Mr. Potato Head. Are you kidding me? Tom and Jerry, like the cartoon?
Tom and Jerry raised.
Who's the hero out of that? Because they're a duo.
Well, see, the includer in me would say Tom. I feel for Tom.
The cat. Why do you feel for...
Tomcat is a play on words.
This is happening right now. Why do you feel for Tom?
The man just wants to eat.
He's a cat. And he wants to eat a mouse.
A cat wants to eat a mouse.
Trevor, can I ask you a very important, honest question? I love that Abby is here. Trevor,
Tell it to me, baby.
Hit me with it. Have you ever seen a cat eat a mouse in real life?
Never. Have you?
Of course, it's terrible. So last year, so I don't know if the camera's on me right now or not, but last year, Kylie and I, we were getting mice in our home. It was terrible. And we have two cats. Yikes, we had two cats. Super sad.
There
oh my
it is.
goodness.
There's an announcement.
Anyway, wow, honey, love you. Didn't mean to go there, but our cat Tozer, he caught a mouse and began eating it in front of us.
Naturally.
Do you know what I heard that mouse say while it was the worst
Save me?
squeaking. It was terrible.
SOS?
Well, it was worse than SOS. And so I had to get the mouse out, and he was limping away. I had to kill him with a book. There was blood everywhere.
Spider-Man.
Okay, good. There's a good hero. Way better than Tom and Jerry. Spider-Man. What do you like about Spider-Man?
The thing about Spider-Man is it's just this kid, and they beat this with a dead horse. With a dead horse? As a dead horse.
Have you ever seen a horse get beaten in real life?
Not recently. Every movie they do the same thing, but the theme is still good with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
He gets this, he gets bitten by a spider, as some do, and there's just this power and this responsibility that comes on him.
Yes.
And what does he want to do? He just says, I just want to help.
Yeah.
I just want to help my city. I want to help my neighborhood.
Friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Friendly Spider-Man. Friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
I think that's what I said the first time.
It's
yeah,
not
it's
friendly
okay.
Spider-Man neighborhood. That wouldn't make sense.
No, it's not. So Spider-Man, is that your go-to superhero? If you had to pick, is that your favorite?
Yeah.
Really? Well.
They finally made some good ones recently, so.
Yeah, it's not the right
Well,
superhero.
who would you say?
Well, I'm gonna have to switch universes. If we're picking the best superhero of all time,
Oh boy.
Bruce. Tell him. Oh, he just did. Bruce Wayne.
Ah.
Batman. You like what I did there? You see that?
It's all right.
Bro, Batman, come on. He's real. He's relatable. He doesn't cheat. Okay, when you have
A billionaire is relatable.
Tonight we're talking about
I mean,
white
I'm
privilege.
close,
Thanks
but
for joining
not that
us
relatable.
as we focus on Bruce Wayne and his white privilege. Now, okay, what we're gonna do is find out how can heroes influence us? And Bruce Wayne, he's actually relatable because he doesn't cheat with a superpower.
I'm not even close to being a billionaire, so I can't relate
That's
with
true.
him.
That's true. I met one once.
Warren Buffett?
Yeah, a Creighton game. But I met him. I pointed. I was like, "That's Warren Buffett," and that was it. It was incredible. It was a great interaction.
How was that meeting?
Well, it wasn't. So when we think of heroes, let's get away from Tom and Jerry if we can. Let's get away
I'd
from
rather not,
superheroes. Let's
honestly.
get away from fiction. Who are some? Because this is what we're going to do tonight, right? And I want you guys to be asking questions as we talk about heroes. Not that we've given you much to ask yet. Yikes! But as we talk about heroes, who are some
There's a lot of
heroes?
things I could ask.
Who are some heroes that are like out there that you've never met, like distant
Yeah.
heroes? And then who are the heroes at home, the people you really know? But let's start with you, Trev. Who are some heroes of yours that are distant heroes?
Yeah. So first person that comes to mind is a certain Tim Keller.
Tim Keller.
Pastor Tim Keller. He's retired now. But for me, Tim Keller is I've read some of his books and I follow his podcast with all his sermons. But one sermon specifically stood out to me. I was near rock bottom a few years ago, and I was working this dead end accounting job, one of my least favorite jobs I've ever done. And I was doing this project in the back and kind of away from my other coworkers and my bosses and all that. So I didn't have headphones, so I just put on Tim Keller's sermon. It was the one about pride. If you've heard it, Nebuchadnezzar, as he transforms into this beastly creature, go read about it. Couldn't tell you the chapter. But he just spoke about pride, and there was so much in my life at the time that I was just like shook.
Yeah.
Just like putting down files, like shaking in the back. And coworker came in and checked on me once. They had to call the ambulance. It's the whole thing. That's not true. But yeah, so Tim Keller stands out to me.
Okay.
Every sermon I hear of his, it's just like there's this deep conviction, and there's also this deep like encouragement as well.
Tim Keller, in my opinion, is the best living expository preacher, which is a
Great.
huge compliment. If you don't know what expository preaching is, we try to do that at Lifegate, where we unpack Scripture. We start with Scripture rather than topics, and Tim Keller does it better than anyone. Okay, so Tim Keller, who else, man? Do you have anyone else that would be like a distant hero of yours that you've never met personally?
So another one that comes to mind, a little controversial, but I think his story is great. The redemption side of his story is great. Michael Vick.
Oh, Michael Vick.
Can we talk Mike Vick for a second?
Do y'all even know who Mike Vick
Michael
is?
Vick,
Do they
tell
know
them
who
about Michael Vick.
Oh, you need to recognize. Michael Vick might have been one of the best, most athletic, dual threat quarterbacks of all time in the league. Brett's nodding. Jeff, you agree with that? Played for the Falcons back in the day.
No, I do
Freak
agree with
athlete
that.
from VTech. He kind of had a weird career where he ended up getting in a lot of trouble for dogfighting. And then he did some more time than he probably should have. I can just say
Too
that
long.
for dogfighting. And then he actually went back into the league with Philadelphia, correct?
Yep.
And ended up becoming, he was an all-star that year.
He was a backup behind Donovan McNabb.
And McNabb got
You
hurt.
don't need to know him.
Yeah,
He's
or
just a
something.
backup.
Yeah.
And then McNabb left to the Redskins, and it was Mike's turn. Mike
Yep.
Vick. So-
And he crushed it. So what about Vick's story gives you that hero? Like, why do you look up
Yeah.
to Michael Vick specifically?
Yeah, well, so I grew up, when I'm growing up, Mike Vick is in
everywhere.
the heat of
everywhere.
Yeah, like everyone loves him. He's great. I'm playing as him on Madden 04. Just you can't lose with him on Madden 04. So both teams pick the Falcons, and it's a stalemate. And so for him, I've watched this documentary about him, and it's really long, but it's incredible. It is incredible.
Yeah.
And one of the pieces in his story is he comes in the NFL, and he's kind of loose, and he doesn't have a great work ethic. He's really good,
But he's
really
all talent.
talented.
He's all talent.
And
yeah.
he knows it.
Yeah.
And so he doesn't really have the work ethic to go along with it. And he's amazing on the field, and then all that goes down. He goes to jail, and he ends up getting paired with a guy named Tony Dungy. If you don't know Tony Dungy, he's one of the most legendary coaches of all time.
Won the Super Bowl with the Colts, right?
Super Peyton Manning, all that stuff.
And he's like
You
a
guys know
pastor.
all these
He's like an
names, I'm
NFL.
sure.
He's a player's pastor. Like basically, he's
Yeah.
coach, but he like actually
He-
spiritually pours into
he's
players.
Deep faith,
Yep.
he's all that. So he gets paired with Mike Vick, and Mike Vick comes out of prison.
Yep.
And he begins working against dogfighting. And at first you think it's a PR stunt. He's just trying to get himself back on the map, make himself look like a good guy. And he's still doing it to this day.
Yeah.
Like he's still involved in the Humane Society with PETA, just helping stop dogfighting.
Yeah.
He really didn't want to do it, but it's just kind of how he was raised.
Yeah.
And so he comes back and he gets his time in the NFL.
And doesn't he marry?
And
He marries his.
Tony
Yeah.
Dungy tells him to marry his girlfriend and not just
Yeah.
float around with her, whatever he was doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just, to me, it's just this great redemption story.
Yeah.
a guy can go like pretty much near rock bottom. He's in so much debt,
Yeah.
and he pays off all his debtors, and he gets married.
Yeah,
And he just
yeah.
ends up still having a good career.
Yeah.
in
So
the
that
late
second
2000s.
chance. That second chance. Yeah.
So I just
good,
love that
man.
part of his story that he comes back with
Yep.
fire and still has a few good years left in him.
Tim Keller, Mike Vick. Who else you got in your
Third
roster?
one, I wonder if you have this guy on your list.
Yeah.
A certain John Foreman,
Ooh.
lead singer of Switchfoot.
Ooh, let's close in prayer right now.
Yep.
Yes.
Take the tide.
Okay,
pass
what
the
about
balls
John,
around.
though? What about John? What about John?
John, he just has these deep, amazing lyrics, and I love the sound, by the way, but the lyrics really have got me through some
Yeah.
really challenging times.
Yeah.
And have I met him? Yes. Is he still falling the hero from afar category? Yes.
Totally. Yeah, yeah.
So if you want to see a video, we'll post it in the description of Taylor and I having a Q&A with John Foreman.
And Kylie, please include my
And
wife.
Kylie
Please
as
include
well.
my wife. Thank you.
In Colorado, no big deal. Go to Red
Yes.
Rocks once in your life with somebody to see
Yeah.
somebody. Anyways, just these deep lyrics that
Yeah.
shaped me and kept me through when I felt lonely.
Do you have anything specific that comes to your heart of any specific lyric?
Jeez.
Dying to hear it again.
Well, there's a song called "Where I Belong," or even no, because I know a specific lyric sticks out. So there's a song called "Yet." You haven't lost me yet. I'll run until my heart caves in. You haven't lost me yet.
Yeah. When
And
you're
for
wandering.
so many times
yeah.
in my life, it's like
Yeah.
I just need that. I just need that shred of truth to hang on, to keep going.
Yeah.
And it's stuff like that. I mean, it's littered,
Yeah.
like kitty litter. It's just littered in all those songs. Just these deep,
Yeah.
great, strengthening lyrics that
Yeah.
have got me through so many difficult times and has shaped me
Good.
with truth.
Good. Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
You got anything to say on John?
Oh, too much to say.
Yeah.
But you're not interviewing me. I'm interviewing you right now.
You are.
I'm the one asking the questions.
you want me to ask
Do you want to ask the questions?
Yeah,
Do you
so
want
let's
to?
swap.
All right, really quick. Bruce,
Thank you,
hey,
swap.
don't touch Bruce.
Bruce? I don't want any trouble, Bruce.
So one of my heroes is Evil Knievel. A lot of people don't know that.
Welcome to Big Cat's Corner.
Big Cat's Corner.
I'm your host tonight, Big Cat, here with this is the last live stream. This is the last Big Cat's Corner you'll ever see. Ever, maybe, probably not. We got canceled.
Happy to be here, BC.
This is Tiger Fox, Pastor Tiger Fox to you.
Don't ever call me Pastor Tiger. That is creepy. Wow.
Who are some of your heroes from afar?
Bro, I got too many.
Give me
Too
three.
many. Eric Liddell, William Wilberforce.
That's two.
A.W. Tozer, C.S. Lewis.
That's four.
John Foreman.
I said
Kobe
three.
Bryant, Mamba mentality. Are you kidding me right now? So here's
Pay
the
your
thing.
respects.
Here's the thing I want to encourage y'all watching this. A lot of people think you should have like a mentor. You shouldn't just have one person who influences you. You should have several.
Yep.
I have like a bouquet of like 30 people who've honestly deeply influenced me, and that's kind of created who I am today. And when I think about those distant, it kind of ties into the Mike Vick thing. When I think about my distant heroes, a lot of them have failed. Isn't that weird? Some of my heroes' greatness
It's real.
doesn't equate success.
Yeah.
Some of the greatest men and women who've ever lived haven't been successful at times in their life. For example, what's that Winston Churchill quote? Success is not permanent. Failure is not fatal. It's the will to keep going that counts. You guys have ever heard that quote? Winston Churchill, he basically saved England in World War II, and then that next election, he didn't get elected prime minister.
Classic.
Classic England. What are they doing?
What are they doing?
And then they went with some other joker for a few years, and then he got
They
reelected.
realized
after
he was
that.
trash.
Yeah, yeah. But again, and even like Abraham Lincoln, A.W. Tozer, C.S. Lewis, his first book was terrible. Pilgrim's Regress. I have it because I had to get it, and it's amazing for me because I see a lot of failure in my life. And it's that will to keep going.
Yep.
It's that Mamba mentality of waking up early, putting in the reps, doing the time you need to do.
Right.
Again, Mike Vick, that was a huge
Yeah.
thing.
Second chance. Well, I'm going to pause you for a second.
Please do
We got a
pause me.
question from an anonymous person.
Yes.
How do you find good books / podcasts / sermons for the season of life that you're in from good people who will give you good advice?
I honestly would.
What do you think?
I would love to know what season you're in because we could recommend it right now. I think a lot of the wisdom in my life I've gotten from people directly who've pointed me to people indirectly. Isn't that fun? My grandpa's got a great quote. Who obviously he's one of my heroes.
Just one quote. He's got one good
He's
quote.
got one great quote that's pertinent right now, where he said, "The right book at the right time is like a prophet standing right in front of you." The right book at the right time is like a prophet standing right in front of you, downloading heaven into your soul. And that's happened to me a few times in my life where I've read the right book at the right time. A.W. Tozer of God and Men. Pursuit of God when I wasn't even following the Lord. That'll destroy you inside and out. And when it doesn't break your heart, it's not enough. When your inside's coming out.
We're just going to quote Switchfoot the whole night.
When you find out what your heart is made of, John Foreman.
The next 30 minutes will be just Switchfoot quotes, by the way.
So honestly, I would say this. Ask us again or find us on Instagram and tell us what season you're in. Tell us what you're wrestling with. Tell us what you're dealing with. I know, for example, on Tuesdays with Taylor this last week, Malia 14, I don't know if she's watching, she asked a super hard question about God's predestination and our free will. And guess what I gave her? Some insight on it from a John Mark Comer book when he went off on it for 9 pages and God has a name. I gave her my thoughts biblically, but then I put her there to let her feed. And as sheep, man, we all need to feast on different things at different times. That's when you need a really good pastor or a really good big cat to direct you where the catnip is. You need to find the catnip. You don't get the catnip, you don't get fed. You don't get fed, there's no litter box need. If there's no litter box needed, then
How many times are we going to say litter box tonight?
Well, tonight...
That's 2 already.
Well, yeah. Anyway, there's my answer to that question.
Yeah, I would say that's very specific to a person.
Yeah.
But we can give you general ones that anybody could listen to.
Yeah.
Tim Keller, go listen to Tim Keller sermons.
Redeemer Presbyterian, look up Redeemer.
Some of you may fall asleep because it's just so content and monotonous, but stay with him because it's brilliant.
Yeah.
We can give you other ones. We'll comment below and we'll connect with you and give you some.
Ooh,
I want to jump into another question.
Yeah, great question.
From Zachary James Wintle. What is his middle name? Do you know?
Yeah, it's Gregory.
Is it really?
No.
He
That's
asks.
the next question. That's our question for him.
Is he going to answer?
Continue.
He asks, Zachary Wintle.
Gregory.
Why do I keep going Zachary? Are there any biblical characteristics that a hero / mentor should possess? If so, what are the characteristics that could be applied to today? Taylor, take it away.
Also specified question for Trevor.
This question?
This one?
Yeah,
Well, dude, let's switch back. Let me ask the question.
Hold on, caught on the tarp.
Oh, light! Okay, that was almost an $800 jump.
Don't
Okay.
tell Lauren, don't tell Lauren.
Trevor, go.
This is warm. This seat is really warm. Are you sweating?
I'm
Good?
doing a lot of things over there. Yeah, keep going.
You're going to stop right there. Brett's sweating even more now.
Hit it, Trev. Hit it.
That a hero mentor should possess.
Yes.
They have to be humble. They have to be a teacher. Don't just go to somebody that's just fun to be around. There's a lot of those people that are in the church today that are really fun. They're leaders. Find somebody that can teach you.
Yeah.
Find somebody that knows the Word of God. Find somebody that has been through the ringer even, I'd say.
Yeah.
Not even just that have a super crazy story, but just someone who's stood the test of time.
Yeah, and gone through failure.
Gone
and
through
handled
failure.
it well. Yeah.
Yep. Because they're going to. There's going to be sin in their life.
So let me actually take this, because those are huge qualities, but let's give them flesh. One of the last things we were going to ask, which I feel fine to kind of jump into this, because I think the questions are going to do better when we get into these questions with the real life examples. Who are heroes that are close to home to you, and what characteristics did they possess that you needed?
Yeah.
Oh, you see what I did there?
Yeah.
So who are some of your heroes that you know? Not the John Foremans, not the Tim Kellers, not the Kobe's, not the Mike Vicks. The people you actually know, where you know not just their beautiful portrait of themselves in their books. You know the insides of them. You know their relationships. You know their upbringing. You know their faults. Who are some of your heroes?
Yeah. Personally, to me, so I'll go back in time a little bit. We're going to take a little time machine back to high school Trevor. And I would say there's this guy named Joe Slaybaugh. He's probably not watching. But he was my youth leader at the time. And it was just for a season. There's people who are put in your life just for a season, just to give you something. This guy was just getting in my life to help me have forgiveness and reconciliation with my mother. If I did not know Joe Slaybaugh, I would wonder where my relationship with my mom was, because I was angry. There was things.
How old were you when this was?
I was a sophomore
in high school.
Junior.
Got it. So yeah, he's your youth
Junior.
pastor. I love it. I love it. I love it.
And I was just kind of angry at things, and I really had a bad attitude toward my parents. Wasn't honoring them. I was just mad at things, and he said, "They love you. Like, can't you reconcile with them?" And I did. I've reconciled with my mom, and if I did not, I don't know where I would be today. I probably wouldn't have. But he guided me there, and so he was there for that season, but not very long. And he got me to that place. So that was huge. That's one of them.
Okay.
Another one is my sister. I don't know if she's watching.
What up, Whitney?
She has before, but I don't know if she's watching tonight. But anyways, my sister, a couple stories there. There was a time in my life, again, high school, where I was not good with my faith. I was not on a good track. And people knew it. People could see it. You can kind of tell people's countenance in that way.
Yeah.
And my sister, around Valentine's Day, here's what she does. She notices it, and she says, "Trevor, let's go get Red Mango. Rest in peace." Wait, there's still one. It went down for a while. Let's get Red Mango, and then let's go watch a Grace University basketball game, which Jeff may have been playing at the time. I don't know. I may have seen Jeff play basketball.
I'm pretty sure they lost that game.
They probably did.
He goes, "I'm sure we lost that game." Oh no.
Tough schedule.
But so she took time. She took you to Red Mango, then Grace.
And then she gave me this Valentine of Snoopy and what's that bird's name? The yellow bird.
Yellowbird.
Anybody? All right.
Big Bird?
No, it's the Yellowbird and Snoopy.
It's a tiny bird.
Draw the bird. I'm kidding.
And I still have to this day. I hope she's
Wow,
watching,
because
I
it was
still have
meaningful.
It meant so much to me. All I needed was just somebody to
Yeah.
take time to look at me.
Yeah.
Which sounds selfish, but I just needed somebody to invest in me and give me
Woodstock?
something.
Is that her name?
Woodstock.
Woodstock. Thank
Snoopy
you, Jeff.
and Woodstock. I just need somebody to invest in me and just say, I care about you.
Yeah.
And I'm going to pay for this Red Mango, and I'm going to take you to this game
Yeah.
just to be with you. And for me, that was huge.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
She didn't say anything, really. She didn't say anything theological or anything.
Yeah.
Just like, here it is.
Yeah.
And
So those are some qualities to answer Zach Wintel's question that they noticed. They had compassion. They had mercy. They were kind. They were available. They made you a priority. But then also, even with Joe, man, they had courage. They had courage. I know that's a big one for me, Zach. Man, when I think of leaders and or heroes I look up to, they have courage, and they express their courage in the right way, where they look like Jesus. They're not dictators. They're actually they have that influence that's kind and laced with mercy and compassion. Okay, good. So who else, man? Who else you got?
yeah, and then thirdly, I throw a certain Taylor Foster into this mix.
Oh, bro.
Which he wasn't supposed to be on this panel tonight.
Bro.
But now he gets get all the glory on screen.
I'll pay you later. Thank you.
Yeah, pay me now, actually. Anyways, so there was a couple years ago. I never was super close to Taylor. You know, we're family, we're cousins.
Who could be? I mean,
you know, he's older than me, so I never really got the chance. And he was kind of wild in high school. I don't know where he went, but he got blonde hair at one point. Anyway,
Eminem was super popular in the early 2000s. Keep going.
there was this time I went to Colorado with some friends.
Yep.
And who lived in Colorado at this time? Taylor and Kylie. And so I did on this trip, and then he dropped me off, and I just hung out with Taylor and Kylie for...
Yeah, you slept on our couch for like 5 days. It was
It
great.
wasn't the couch, it was the inflatable bed.
You didn't
What's that
sleep-
called?
It's called an air mattress.
Air mattress. Slept on that for 5 days. The cat woke me up at 3 a.m. just right in my face.
Yeah.
But I went to this Switchfoot Need to Breathe concert at Red Rocks.
Yes.
How many times are we going to say Red Rocks tonight? It's amazing.
Dude.
And this kind of started a relationship. It was totally a God thing because later on, when I was in college, I was struggling again and ready to drop out of college, failing, just not doing well.
Yeah.
Called Taylor, started get some ramen.
Yeah, I made you ramen
Made me
noodles.
ramen.
Yeah.
We talked about life, and that next semester, academically, was my best GPA throughout college.
Yeah.
I needed somebody to walk me. Taylor had a crazy busy schedule. He's finishing seminary. He's doing a youth ministry job now.
Central service and campus my
He's got to
first year.
figure that out. He's pretty new to it.
I'm married. I
And
have 2 cats.
He takes me
Yes.
on and gets me back on track. That was huge for me. And ever since then, there's just been this great friendship, professional development, and soul development.
Yeah.
As I've known Taylor, and so.
So I would add authenticity, man.
Yeah.
Because again, even last night you were over how late, like with Kylie and I just
we
chatting
talked for
about
like 2.5
life, and it
hours.
was just powerful. I had prayer at the end. So those are things I'd look for in heroes and mentors.
I'd also throw in. So with my parents, I never had like. I don't know how to say this. Like, sometimes we just don't click with our parents. I don't know how to say it. But my parents, one thing they have done, 2 things they've done super well. They've supported me in everything, and they've prayed for me. You need people, a good leader. If you're going to be with them, they're going to pray for you.
Yeah, yeah.
My parents, I know they'll pray for me tomorrow morning, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day. I know they're praying for me, so when something comes up, who do I go to first? I go to my parents and say, can I get prayer for this?
Yeah.
Because I know they're going to pray for me. And those prayers have kept, literally saved me so many times in my life. You have to have leaders in your life praying for you. And if you don't have people who are just praying for you naturally, go to somebody and say, hey, can you pray for me?
Yeah. That's so
have
good.
them start praying for you.
It's so good. So good. Yeah, man. Those are 3 great personal heroes, man. I'm glad I made the cut. That's crazy. It's just super
It was
weird.
third. It was close.
Yeah. Because again, Pastor Cole. Again, he said, Pastor Cole, Kylie, Tessa. We hope you're feeling better. Pray for them. You guys think too.
You got some heroes?
Yeah. Do you want to?
I should ask it.
I feel like you should ask the question. Yeah, let's do it.
Y'all get in.
Hardcore. Okay.
Guys, we're really cool.
This is our last night live stream. We're
Taylor.
doing anything we want. Yes.
Personal heroes.
That I actually know personally. I got 3.
Close to home.
Close to home. So one of them, he's known me my whole life. My grandpa, Grampy, Elmer.
He's known me my whole life too.
Murdoch.
Herbert.
It's not Herbert.
Is it? I thought it was
No,
Herbert.
I thought it was Hal. That was his brother's name.
I always thought it was Herbert.
It's not. Is it? You might be. Oh my gosh, this is awkward.
Mom,
Dad,
if you're
let us
watching,
know,
comment. Mom, if you're watching, comment
So
in the section.
Grampy, 100%. He has shaped the man I am today in so many ways. It's not even funny. I'm not the husband. I'm not the pastor. I'm not the father. I am. But he's mainly shaped me spiritually. And then Mike Ballard would be the second one. What up,
Legend.
Mike? If you're watching, Brett, fist pumping.
Legend.
And it's really weird. I said this earlier. We expect to have just like one mentor, and then here's the thing. My grandpa really didn't teach me a whole lot about how to discipline kids. But I'll never forget. I saw Mike the first time punish Kobe. Can I share a story? This was back at your guys' house on Blondo, where Kobe did not want to go in for dinner, and Shelly told him multiple times. And I'll never forget Mike saying, "Hey Kobe, bud, come in. Let's go in." And he's like, "One more shot." He's like, "No." And he shoots it. And Mike's like, "Hey, Kobe." I said, "Come in." He's like, "One more shot." And then Mike walks over there, and Kobe's like, "No, but Dad." And he's like, kneels down, and he says something. I can't hear it because it's between him and Kobe. And then Kobe, drops the ball and goes inside. And then I remember later asking Mike, "Hey, man, what did you say to your son?" Because I never grew up modeling how to discipline someone like that. And I never grew up, and very often, I will say this very carefully, with men, specifically husbands, you get 2 kind of ditchers that you see with some husbands, not all, but some, either they're like a dictator, it's their way or their highway. Or some of them are a doormat, they don't lead anyone. They just give in to the wife, give in to the kids, they let the, whatever. It was amazing for me to see Mike Ballard lead with love and actually not be a doormat or not be a dictator. And I had never seen it that way so vibrantly. And then my third one would be Dr. Grotice in Denver Seminary. He changed the way I think, he changed the way I reason, he changed the way I talk. He haunts me. I try not to say I try not to say like. I can't say very unique anymore because there's no degrees to uniqueness, by the way. Anyone who says very unique around me, watch my nonverbals, I'll go. So those are people, but again, he also showed me compassion. I watched him walk through suffering as his wife of 20-some years died of dementia. And we went to her funeral, and Grotice had us sit with him up front as part of his family. And he's Joy's godfather. He's like a spiritual father to me as well. And so those are just a few. And I want to highlight one thing specifically about my grandpa that I did with my nephew this last week when we had a really fun uncle-nephew day. A lot of y'all don't have film to watch. I'll never forget the first time I witnessed my grandfather apologize to my grandma. This was super weird. I was 16 years old. We know our grandma, so we have to be careful. But she told Grampy to pick up something from the grocery store. I don't know if I've told this story before. And she wrote down a note, and he came home from tennis, and he hustled home, and he met with me. And she came home, she's like, "Doc, did you pick that up from Hy-Vee?" And he's like, "Nancy, I completely forgot. I am so sorry." She's like, "Doc, I wrote it on the piece of paper. I told you this morning. I put it in your car." He's like, "Honey, you did all that? It was completely my fault." She's like, "I told you." She's like, "You completely did. You completely did. It's 100% my fault. How can I make it up to you? Taylor and I, can we go grab it now?" "No, my car's already in the driveway. I'll go get." "Honey, let us go grab it and make it right." How can I restore our relationship? I will never forget him saying that over a freaking grocery list.
Legend.
And then she's like, "I'll go get it." I'm like, "Nah, freaking let him do it. Like, what are you doing?" And I will never forget when she left to go get it, I looked at my grandpa and I said, "That is greatness." Seeing great men aren't perfect men. Great men recognize when they're not perfect. And they're humble enough to own it and apologize with their whole heart. And he could have been very critical. He's like, I'm discipling our grandson who's smoking weed. Like, help me. Like, come on, I'm doing a good thing. But no, he didn't make one excuse. Nothing ruins an apology like an excuse. And if you don't know that, you need to write that down.
Write that. I was just going to say, write that down.
Nothing, and I remember asking, I'm like, Grampy, how do you, he's like, nothing ruins an apology like an excuse. Own it completely. A.W. Tozer, he once said when he was complimented on a great sermon, he said, couldn't have been me, only the mistakes are mine. Men who live at that level of humility live in a realm of greatness where the air is thin and God's presence is near. And those are the people I aspire to be around and read and, yeah.
We have a question coming in
Please.
from a certain Emma Knutson. Shout out.
Yeah.
Are there things you should avoid when looking for a mentor?
Yes.
Like what?
I would say a mentor who lacks humility, a mentor who... I would say avoid. I would say a mentor who tries to teach you skills, but their character's not there. I know it sounds really weird, but some of the at-home mentors, there's attention here. Can I give them attention? This is fun, Emma. You asked a great question. Give it to me. Just send it. Hit me with it. There's a lot of things I've learned from people where I can take my truth where I find it. A lot of their stuff's messed up, but guess what? I'm taking truth from them and learning. When it comes to a mentor or someone I allow speaking into my life, I want to, in a weird way, without being judgmental or critical, I want to make sure they have two legs that are actually firm. With my grandpa, his fruit, Luke Isaacson and I were talking about last week, like his fruit in this city and with people, it's insane. It speaks for itself. Certain people, when they're not 93, you can't do that, but you can look at how does their wife talk about them? How does their husband talk about them? What do their little younger siblings say? We're both youngest. You want to find out about someone? Ask the siblings. Yeah. And so I would say this, are there things when their character is lacking their competency? One of my biggest fears is that my influence will exceed my competence or character. It's one of my biggest fears. I've never said that to people. I stole it from Grotice. He said, I never want my influence to exceed my competence. And this is a man who's written over 15 books. I never want my influence to be greater than my competence. And that is a really good joke for Instagram people who have a lot of followers. Their influence dramatically exceeds their competence, which is why we're talking about this, which is why it's important to have healthy heroes, not just heroes who are cool. So those are some of the things.
Yeah, I'd say, I'd add on to that, reputation. Do they have, like, are they just kind of like, oh, you know, are they someone who you think is cool or whatever, like I said earlier, or do they have actually proven it over the years? And another thing I'd add as well is, can they ask good questions? Can they dig into you a little bit?
Do they just give you info, or do they actually...
These 2 years, I've been in residency. I've been with Taylor. I've been with Sarah McPherson and Mike Hantz. All of them have asked super good questions that have gotten to the core of some issues, gotten to the core of, like, how does leadership work? And it forces me to be like you want questions that, like, you don't know and that you have to think about for 5 minutes, which is what I had to do the other day with Mike Hantz. He asked me questions and I had no idea. We just sat there in silence for a while. Which is fine. A
godly mentor should ask you questions like directions, unpacking the truth. They just give you the answer, but they help you get there by asking you questions. One thing you said about the reputation, it's biblical. 1 Timothy 3, it says this about an overseer. They must have a good reputation with both believers and outsiders so that they do not fall into disgrace. All people, not just Christians, not just unbelievers, like all people have a good reputation. Isn't that funny?
Not just in the church.
Not just in the church,
Well, we have another question coming in from Anonymous.
Yes.
How do you ask someone if they can mentor you? Yeah, that's a great question.
Can I give a funny answer? You ask them, hey, would you pray about being my mentor?
That's not funny. That's the right answer.
Well, and sometimes people are getting weird with mentors. There's been this weird trend of that. I don't know why, but there's been, maybe you guys haven't seen that. It's like, hey, will you be my mentor? There's this weird possessiveness. Again, you don't have a mentor. You should have several. If you don't, you're not healthy.
Will you be my mentor?
Will you be mine? Be mine. It's like giving them a Valentine or something after a Grace game. So that's not something...
It was before the game, actually, but...
Hey, whatever you say, Snoop. So all that to say...
They call me Woodstock.
They call me Woodstock. Well, birds do fly. Anyway, how do you ask someone to be their mentor? Do it with humility. I love that Brett is enjoying this more than anyone probably right now. Do it with humility. Say, hey, would you pray about speaking in my life? I would love to meet with you regularly if your calendar is available. Like, be humble about it. Be kind about it. And I'm hoping if you're pursuing someone to mentor you, they probably have a lot of commitments because they're someone you aspire to be like. And so be cognizant of that. I know that a few of the couples, Kylie and I, we mentor. We have them over during Joy's nap time. We met with 3 couples this last week, and it was great. Yeah. Some of whom aren't youth kids, but were officiating their wedding. And they had to just come at 1:30 in the afternoon on Saturday while my daughter doesn't sleep but throws her books out of her crib and does whatever toddlers do, and they're getting over naps. Yikes, Jeff. I need to talk to you about that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I think if they're a good enough leader, they should have people in their life they're mentoring anyways. So I think it's very okay to be bold enough to go,
yes,
will you be my mentor? But also acknowledge that, like, again, if you're asking Taylor, a lot of time commitments, Mike Hance, a lot of time, all that. So notice that you're taking like their time, and if they're being gracious in that.
You are taking their time.
You are taking the time, and they want to.
Yes.
But it's also just this issue of it is their time that they're pouring into you.
And can I say this? There are a few things more frustrating to me with people I mentored when I've told them to do things or listen to things and they don't freaking do it.
Yep.
I've actually, never mind. I need to be careful. Never mind.
Yep. Do it.
Whenever my grandpa
thankfulness.
told me to do something, or Grotish or Mike, I did it with like glee. I thought we can use that word glee. Like, again, a cat jumping out of a litter box. You just got a lot of glee there.
3.
But I did it with glee because I was so excited for their thoughts.
Yeah. And be thankful.
Be thankful.
After every meeting or phone call or whatever you get, thank you so much for your time.
What did Mark Driscoll say? When you're meeting with someone who's wiser than you, show up early, ask questions, shut up, and tell them thank you for their time.
Yep.
And then ask them, when's convenient for us to do this again?
Yeah.
It could be in a week, it could be in a year. When is the most convenient?
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. Cool.
Any more
other
questions?
rolling in?
There's one, but it has
Nothing to do with this? Well, if you want to throw it out there, man, I'm game.
Just send it.
Yeah. Will we have to bring masks when we have youth next week at our campuses?
I'll let Taylor take this.
I'll let the big cat take this one.
Okay.
Well, before you go, let me say one thing.
Yeah.
Actually, no, you start.
How'd Jeff take it?
Hefe.
Masks, unlike Batman, are optional. And so when you come,
Does that mean Batman's not optional?
I don't understand that.
let me start over. Masks. Can you say masks?
Who's Matt?
Max. Masks.
2 S's.
Are optional. We won't provide any, but if you want to bring one, you're more than welcome. But we will be practicing the latest and greatest social distancing requirements that our local government and the CDC puts out for us, which currently masks are not required, I do not believe. But I can double check that come July 12th. Yes.
Cool.
Bruce, any thoughts on masks?
Bruce has never worn a mask in his life.
He does when he's the night man,
The night man.
Well, he does when he's the Dark Knight, Trevor.
Well.
He's Bruce Wayne. Can I ask you a question?
Oh, okay.
Okay, let's switch for that.
Do I have to parkour over here?
Yeah, of course, but don't hit the light.
Kevin, what's the lights?
Trevor, what are some of the most important things you've learned from one of your mentors? Like most important life things that if you could pass on, and I want to do the same, but what are some of the most important things you've learned from the people who've spoken into your life? And I shared one with Grampy, but you go.
Always be humble.
Mm.
Always listen. Always be teachable.
Yeah.
You do not know everything, and you never will. Tim Keller does not know everything.
Yeah.
He still needs to listen to people.
Yes.
You will always be a lifelong learner, and you always need to be teachable and listen.
Mm-hmm.
You can have opinion. You can have a strong opinion.
Yeah.
But listen to people.
Yeah.
Listen to mentors. Listen to people above you
Mm-hmm.
that know more.
Yeah.
So be humble. Be teachable. Be hungry.
Yeah, that's so good.
Get hungry, man.
Have
I'm always
motivation.
hungry.
That was something we talked about a lot with you with Grace stuff. Do you remember when I made you not watch the Husher game to finish that paper? Do you remember that?
My
Oh my
last
God.
paper of my undergraduate career.
I was straight up mean.
I had to get up at like 6 a.m. because the Husser kickoff was like 11.
Yeah.
And Taylor said, finish it before the game.
And
I
you
finished
did.
it, and I was
You did.
a college graduate at that point.
You did. It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. How
question.
can I open up? How can I open up to a mentor about something sensitive, which was actually a theme in your life story with Whitney, myself, and who was the other one?
Joe
Whithelm, Joe Slayball.
I don't know
Joe Slayball. Final answer. One thing you did really well, you were super vulnerable. I remember when you came to my apartment, bro, you didn't hold back. You didn't try to put on a pretty face. You didn't act like you had it
So
together.
life's terrible, here it is.
Life's terrible, here it is, and it's probably all my fault. And I'm like,
And it mostly was.
here's some food. Eat that. then let's talk.
Yeah.
And so but you were very vulnerable. So this is a great question for you, Trev. How can I open up to a mentor about something sensitive?
Again, if you found a mentor that these qualities we've talked about, these
That's what they're there
characteristics,
for. Yeah.
then you have no problems saying anything to them.
Yes.
Especially if you've developed, if it's a little newer, you still can. If I started to get to know a student and was mentoring them right now, I'd still want them to open up. That's where the growth happens. When you can put it into the light, anything, when you can put anything into the light, that's where the growth is going to happen. If you continue to hide things, I love when I meet with students. I just met with one today, and they were super open and honest. And that's where the growth starts.
It's on kingdom ground. I love meeting with kids who are currently not following Jesus, quote unquote, but they're telling me everything about them not following Jesus. They're super humble and they're super honest. And I'm like, yeah, God's arms are all over you, though. You know what I mean? You're in the kingdom light when you're doing it that way. It's so good.
I think a good leader, I think a good mentor will be like desiring you to open up like that. Because they want to help you. And so they need to get to those deepest parts of your soul.
Yeah. So. One of my trippiest experiences talking with Grampy in his basement. Yeah. One of my trippiest experiences talking with my grandpa in his basement was when he asked me, because he found out I was high. I told him at that time I was stoned. And he's like, you smoking the reefer cigarettes? I'm like, well, no, I didn't. I smoked out of a bong today. And he's like, a bong? A bong? Am I saying it? And my grandpa, like, okay, spell it for me now, Taylor. B-O-N-G.
Please.
This is literally 20 minutes. I was high. It was maybe 20 seconds, but it felt like 20 minutes. I actually got a loose piece of paper and I drew it for him. And I love that I got to have Pastor Murdoch as my grandfather, not my father. Sometimes dads have to discipline harsher than grandparents do. And it was a beautiful moment for me where I got all grace. And then I'll never forget, Grampy asked me, he's like, so how's the high lifestyle? How's the high life going for you? Of
course he made
it. And he just tried to make it a joke, but he didn't know he was doing like a Miller commercial, because also he's probably ignorant of that. It's like, how's the high life going for you? I'm like, no, I'm not drinking. Never mind. You're trying to be funny. And I was like, I'm here, aren't I? And he's like, yeah, so it's not satisfying. And he always looked me right in the eye and he'd said, Taylor, you know too much. And I knew I did. And so that's one of the other qualities about a great mentor. They see greatness in you and they have a way of bringing it out. Do you know what Grotice's nickname for me is? I don't think anyone knows it.
Big Beaver?
No. What? No.
It's the first thing that came to brain.
He's a Badger. We've talked about this.
Yeah, so that would be interesting that you...
Grotice, Denver Seminary. He has a very specific nickname for me that he's only given to me and no one else. He writes in every card, and we write still monthly.
Give it to me.
Dear Thymus Man.
Could you explain that?
It's a Greek word, thymus. Do you know what thymus means?
Nope.
Spiritedness. He said, Taylor, God has made you with energy and spiritedness unlike no one I've ever met. Every time he calls me Thymus Man, do you know what he's calling? Destiny out of me. He says, my Thymus Man. It's almost like, I don't want to get emotional, but like I used to get in so much trouble my whole life for having too much energy and being too adventurous and being, Trevor, being too wild. Oh my gosh, Taylor did a backflip off the Bennington Bridge again. No way.
Do you remember when you let Lance, my brother, drive your red...
the Blazer?
The Blazer down the street and almost crashed into that park?
Yeah, that was Lance's. Well, yeah.
My parents had finally figured
Wasn't Lance like 15 at that time because he didn't have a license?
No, it was illegal, but now my parents know. They're probably watching.
And so... what Grotai says to me is like, yeah, you've been wild, but you're Thymus Man. You have spiritedness, you have passion, you have purpose. And so every time he calls me Thymus Man, something in my innermost being kind of flickers a little bit. And so, yeah, a good mentor will give you nicknames. Hey there, big cat.
You didn't give me that, but you started that.
I started the movement, man. Yeah. It's crazy. Trevor, we got one last question here.
Give it to me, baby.
From Isaiah. You said earlier in the year, when trying to find that mentor, you should chase after them. Could you paraphrase that?
Did you say that? Did I say that? I can't remember.
I'm sure I said that when we were doing the Daniels and Lions,
Lions
in Babylon series.
And Lions.
Did we mention this is our last live stream? You're welcome for that. Lions Daniel. The Lions in Babylon series, we say you need to find your Jeremiah. And so, so Isaiah, let me say this, bro. Go after them, ask, pursue, and if they say no, that's okay. Look for someone else. Be content.
Yeah, take the no.
Take the no. Be cool. Don't take it personal. Don't take another Grampy quote.
Never. Busy. I don't know.
This is one of the most important things with people who are currently meeting with mentors. Grampy quote. You ready? Never perceive correction as rejection. It's actually quite the opposite. Whenever someone corrects you, they're not rejecting you. they're actually enhancing you. They're loving you. They're valuing you. They're adding something into you. And this is something that's fun, like looking at Noah and Abby as we've dealt with our worship team. Never take correction as rejection. And our flesh and our hypersensitivity we're prone to. But when you have a godly mentor who you have given permission to speak into your heart, and if you don't have them, look no further than your youth leaders. Look no further than some of the people who've been up here. We exist to pour into you. And we do it with relationships, not sermons, and God knows not through live streams on YouTube.
Call us, text us, talk to us. When you want to reach me. What's that Kim Possible song?
Call me, beep, beep, if you want to reach me.
Kim Possible, I was raised on that too.
Somehow it was
I
better
watched
with.
more Tom and Jerry than Kim Possible.
Well, I was going to bring up Tom and Jerry, but you already did.
I knew it was coming. So.
Gosh, this thing is litter boxed with so much stuff. So Isaiah, that would be my thought for you, man. Yeah, chase after them, man. Pursue them. Go after them. One of the things. One of my dear friends, he expected mentors to come to him.
Yep.
These past few years, and then he remembered what his dad used to say all the time. Ty Schentel used to say. I chase my mentors. I go after them. I look for them. I'm hungry to get influenced. I'm hungry. And then he took that and he actually was like, you know what? I've been expecting people to reach me and they haven't. I need to actually go ahead and call somebody that I trust. And he did, and he's been meeting with that mentor for months now, and it has literally changed his life within the past 4 months.
Yeah. And some will come to you, but it's more.
It's rare.
It's like 90% you have to go to them.
It's rare. It's rare. Yep. Great question, Isaiah. Great question. Any other? We got one more question.
Not a question, but a comment. Laren Larson says, Trevin Taylor, ... You guys are fantastic.
Oh.
Oh man, Laren, I love you, bro.
Laren legend.
Laren. So
He's still mad at Noah.
Yeah.
he's still mad at Noah. So here's the last
Clickbait.
the last thing. Is there any other gold nugget you can give from one of your mentors that you'd want to relay to people? I shared Grampy about apologizing. Great men, they apologize greatly. It's amazing. Great men apologize greatly, and it changed my life because I never experienced that. Grotice, he sees the destiny. He calls me Thymus, man. He sees, the things in me that used to even get perceived as negative and twist them positively for the kingdom. What other things could you have that great mentors do?
Yeah, two things stick out to me. So with Joe Slaybaugh, my youth pastor, he taught me that you always need to look to forgive. People are going to hurt you, and that doesn't mean you bottle in, doesn't mean you just stay angry.
Yeah.
But you just forgive right away. Just forgive right away. People are going to hurt you.
Yeah.
And that's just part of life. So be quick to forgive. The other thing, oh boy, I just lost it. Oh, from you is, I think, integral thing that you should lock this in your heart is to always stay faithful.
Yeah.
Stay faithful in wherever God has you. If you're working at Chick-fil-A right now, just be faithful in that. Be the best Chick-fil-A employee there is at that place.
Crush it.
And God will say, okay, let's take you higher.
It's your pleasure to do that. They say that, right? My pleasure?
They do.
Yeah.
No, they say you're.
No.
You just said that.
So, no, that's good.
Yeah,
That's good.
be faithful.
Be faithful.
If you're mopping floors, which I was doing at one point, just be faithful in that. And Brett did it too at Lifegate.
I was
be
maintenance
faithful in that,
man.
and God will take you next step, and He'll give you more and give you more as you are faithful.
Yeah.
Those are two things that stand out to me.
I got one last one from Grampy.
Send
Send it, baby. And then we'll close with this. Oh, wait, here we go. Hold up. I'll save Grampy's. What would be, last question here, what would be the best advice you have about asking someone to be your mentor or not? I think we hit on it.
Yeah, go for it.
Do you mind if I paraphrase really quick?
It,
Summarize it. I would pursue them. I wouldn't do it over text. I'd try to say, hey, are you free for a phone call, or do it in person, and then say, hey, are you willing to meet with me regularly when convenient to you, to pour into my life? I want to pursue you in a mentoring relationship. I want to learn from you. Really come to them with that kind of desire. Grampy, it happened overnight. Grotice, it accidentally happened. Mike, it kind of accidentally happened. And then Kylie and I aggressively pursued Mike and Shelly when we started dating, and it changed our marriage health. And we asked them, like, hey, can we meet with you? And with them, honestly, Brett, like, it's funny, like, you may have saw us come over there. It was maybe once every 3 months, because that's what worked best for them. Do you know why? Because pastors are really busy. And so, but it worked out. We didn't take it as rejection. We took it as, man, we're grateful for an hour we get. And so that would be my encouragement to you. My last gold nugget from Grampy changed my life. We were praying about something, whether it was a health issue. It was a health issue. We didn't know if it was like spiritual, like demonic, or physical. And he had a leading from the Holy Spirit. He showed me how he weighed on the Lord. He's like, well, let's pray right now. And he got quiet for about 2 minutes. And then he said, yeah, it's spiritual. There's 2 demons. And then sure enough, we had prayer, and then that person got better, and we called them. And so me being a mentee, I was like, hey, how did you do that? And he's like, well, I waited on the Lord. I was like, okay, unpack that. You know, you guys would do the same thing. You want the actuals. And he said, it comes from my intimacy. And I said, I want to be as close to God as you are, Grampy. How do I get as close to God as you got? I want to be that close with God. And he looked right at me tenderly and lovingly. He said, Taylor, you can. You can be as close to God as you desire. Spend time with him. Just like we're spending time. Spend time with him. For some reason, God became within reach for me. God became reachable. And then I started right around that time reading Pursuit of God. And by the way, some of those times I wasn't following the Lord in my life, but my heart was sold out to him. And then God figured out my life. He convicted me, led me to repentance. I lived in the light. But I want to encourage you, you can be as close to God as you desire. If you want to realize why you're not as close to God as you think, or as you'd hope, or as you'd wish, look no further than your calendar. Look no further than how much screen time you've had this week, or how much friend time compared to how much time in scriptures, or with godly people. Oh my gosh, I get so spiritually nourished. Last night, talking with you, that was spiritually nourishing, bro. It was you, me, and Kylie.
That fed me.
It fed us. It fed us.
Crazy.
Because the Holy Spirit was there.
Totally.
And so that's my encouragement with you guys. When you look at the time you're putting in things compared to the time you're putting in with people or podcasts or books or sermons or anything where they're kingdom focused. And it could be disc golfing, for God's sake. I disc golf with Richard Nakai, our camp speaker, this last year, and it was profound.
It's a holy event.
We had prayer on the 9th hole. It was amazing. Like, again, like some of the stoners started repenting. It was incredible. I'm kidding.
That's a holy activity.
It was, bro. It's amazing. So all that to say, don't get super spiritual. Everything you do is kingdom. Look at it through that lens. And that's my encouragement to y'all. Big Cat, any closing thoughts on learning from legends and heroes?
Get 1. Get 2. Get 5. Get as many as you can.
Absolutely.
In high school, I regret, there were so many people around me, I regret not getting more.
Yep. And some you might not click with, some you will. Test and prove God's good,
get
perfect.
Get people that are solid with money. Get people that are solid with relationships.
Yeah.
Get people that are solid with ministry. Get
Yep.
people that are solid.
Different aspects of your
Look
life.
around. We have a big church. A lot of skilled, awesome people. Find them.
Absolutely.
We can help you too.
Absolutely. Could you pray for our students as we wrap
Let's
up?
go.
Because we're not going to see you guys for a few weeks. We're off next Sunday. We have 4th of July weekend. Again, enjoy celebrating your independence, which, by the way, Declaration of Independence, the only government document that begins with an apologetic argument for the existence of a God. Think about that, post-Christianity culture. He's given us certain unalienable rights. Among them are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Anyway, and then we're in person July 12th. We cannot wait to see you. But Trev, can you pray us out?
Yes. Well, God, we thank you for tonight. We thank you for this opportunity to just speak into how important mentors are and how people above us, people who've been through the ringer, people who know more than us, how we can get with them and learn from them. And we just ask for a particular favor with the students watching and with our students and the youth, that they would be able to find with ease, that you would match them up. Lord, that you would match them up with people who they need. You've done that for me. You've done that with Taylor. You've done that with people in this room.
Be
Lord
faithful.
Jesus, do it for our students
God.
right now.
Yes,
that you
Jesus.
would match them up with people and that they could get closer in their calling and their destiny, that you would unleash more of that, Lord Jesus. And we just thank you for all the students. Bless every household watching and give us favor this week to take your kingdom into the world. In your name we pray, amen.
Amen, amen, amen. We love you all. We'll see you in person in 2 weeks. Oh, aye. Later, guys. Love you all. Grace and peace. Good night, Bruce.
Kiss him.
Bruce.